Hi, I'm Brooklyn, your friendly neighborhood witch, and today we are going to discuss grounding and centering, self-love, and road opening. Now, the reason that these are in kind of very specific topic ideas is because I have Coven crates that I sell. They're a form of a ritual kit, and I oftentimes receive questions on how to use them. And I've realized that I haven't really made it very clear. So my original intention was for them to be a witchy grab bag of sorts, meaning that for whatever practice you have, you can utilize these tools how you see fit. But I, and many others, sometimes prefer to have exact direction on how to use something. So what I'm going to do is show you how I personally use these kits. Please make modifications as needed. I say this because there are a multitude of practices, traditions, religions, modalities, etc. Moreover, we also have to keep in mind that we are all different in how we show up in the world. It's important we keep the craft accessible. There are folks in the community who do have disabilities, and this is why I am not black and white with the way I do my craft. I am by no means perfect, but I am trying to learn. Grounding or earthing, as a more scientific explanation, are techniques used to reconnect oneself to the Earth's electrons. And a more metaphysical explanation, these are techniques used in order to reconnect oneself to the Earth and its energy. We are in a symbiotic exchange with the Earth, and using this method allows us to release or recharge in order to be more balanced. So for centering, this is used to aid in aligning, focusing, and reeling in one's attention and energy. In electricity, or in electrical engineering, we see examples of electrical circuits being connected to the ground in order to limit the buildup of static electricity. If we did not use this method, it could create dangerous voltages, and negative repercussions would definitely occur. If we use this as an analogy of sorts, with our rituals and workings, we are essentially reconnecting back to the earth in order to help release any static energies. This could look like anxiety, frustration, anger, sadness, list goes on and on. Basically, we are releasing any inhibitors that may throw off our balance. This is important to do, not only as a daily ritual, but also before and after doing any spell work. Steep the cleansing pouch in a bowl of water, or you can pour out the contents into the bowl of water. You can also just hold the pouch in your hands or in your lap. I also want to note that if any of these actions are not an option, there is nothing wrong with having a trusted person aid you with any of these methods. So from there, from top to bottom, head to toe, we will remove unwanted, unedifying energies from ourselves. For those listening, right now I'm using a washcloth, but you can cup your hands to retrieve the water. And so now I am wiping my head to my shoulders and arms, then my chest and core, down my thighs and calves, finishing out with my feet. As I do this, I speak out my objective, either internally or externally. So, for example, I remove all energies and entities that are not here to guide, love, help, heal, and protect me. Now rub the balm or oil on your palms, feet, and or forehead, over your third eye or pineal gland. It's really up to you. You can just do your forehead. So with all the balms and oils, always patch test before putting them on your skin. After this, we are going to light the incense. You can use it as a scent stick if you don't want to light it, so smelling it only when needed. The sensory aspect is to serve as an aid in keeping the focus. I use it because there are woodsy and floral scents in this blend. And so it makes it easier to draw in the connection we are trying to establish back with the earth. For those that are not using the Coven crate, you can use any incense that has a woodsy scent of sorts. Now we will center. You can do this laying down, sitting crisscross applesauce, standing up. Really, it's whatever is going to allow you to be comfortable. You want to make sure you are in an environment that is conducive for your ability to focus. A place that is quiet and calm is preferable, but I know some practitioners are able to do so on a loud school bus if they need to. I find I'm at my best when I am able to be outside. Again, do what works for you. So gather all your energy and focus in. This is often done mainly by using visualization techniques, but for those who maybe can't do that due to aphantasia or something of that nature, don't worry about it. You can also use verbalization. If verbalization is not an option, I will link below the words I say so that you may read it if you like. I can also create an audio file link to download so that you can use my voice during your centering practice if you want. So for visualization, imagine you are reeling in all of the electricity from your personal biofield. This is kind of known as a large field of energy that surrounds and extends out from the body. It's said to be about 8 feet. Now watch as it enters through the tips of your fingers and toes to the core of your body. I personally visualize my destination being around my chest and heart area. Now hold all of that electricity there. Once the energy is held in place, I take my hands and place them on the ground. Now this for me activates the symbiotic exchange with the earth and its energy. You do not, however, need to touch the ground. You can place your hands on a house plant, on a tree outside. Really, the point is to get connected to the earth in the way that works for you. I understand that there are some practitioners who do not need to touch anything for grounding, but it can be extremely helpful. If you are using vocalization, you can say the following or come up with your own words. I feel the field around me and all of my energy. I ask you to come home and rest here where you belong. Enter through my body and rest here in my heart. Now touch the ground. Mother Earth, I thank you for your energy and join with you in symbiosis, as it should be. Now keep in mind, the goal with grounding, in my opinion, is to replenish your energy and maintain balance. Once you feel recharged, so to speak, it's time to meditate. Now I light the candle and stare into the flame. You do not need the candle to meditate. I just find having the flame as a focal point helps me personally. After meditation, you may use the petition paper for writing affirmations on, if that's your thing. You can post it on your mirror, put it on your phone, or your phone case, or keep it for any future spell work you might want to do. Self-love is more than just bubble baths and boudoir shoots, and this is not to say that it doesn't help, because it totally can. In fact, I highly recommend incorporating that if it resonates with you. However, I find that it's helpful to understand the roots and history of movements, modalities, and words in order to better understand the meaning. If we look back to 384 to 322 BC, Aristotle argued that people who love themselves to achieve unwarranted personal gain are bad, but those who love themselves to achieve virtuous principles are the best sort of good. There's a beautiful Gambian proverb that goes like this: before healing others, heal yourself. Now, unfortunately, I don't have a date for this one since African proverbs are traditionally passed down orally over time, not to mention for centuries. Africans' acceptance into the world of philosophy has been denied time and time and time again. So I will link an article below with more on that. In the world of mental health, we saw it described as a form of mental hygiene by William Swiester in the 1830s. He claimed that regular maintenance of mental hygiene created a positive impact on the well-being of individuals and the community as well. In 1848, Elizabeth Cady, I could be saying that wrong, and I probably am, published the Declaration of Sentiments. In it, she discusses the importance of self-love in a world of harmful patriarchal practices. She said that the ability to feel self-worth and self-love is scarce if we are not treated equally. In the 1970s, Black Power movement, wearing your natural hair instead of chemical relaxers, which I know all too much about, and the like, was a form of self-love and defiance against white beauty norms. This is one of many ways to dismantle and to kind of give defiance towards what we saw. More recently, we have also seen self-love rhetoric within the body positivity movement. I'm not going to go too much in depth on that because I would hope that at this point, since it's more modern, we would be mostly up to date on that, but maybe I'm wrong. Now, obviously, there are countless historical examples of this, but for the sake of time, we'll move on to what I personally view self-love as. So to me, it's a genuine inner peace and unconditional love for who I am. Reverence for this existence I have been given for such a millisecond in time in the grand scheme of life. I understand that while I exist on this physical plane, I am going to venture through a vast array of situations and emotions. I am going to make mistakes, but I am also going to learn. I am going to experience hurt, but I will also experience love. I am going to grow tired, but I will also gain strength. I am going to be let down time and time again, but I will also be lifted up. All of this is part of the experience. All I can do is strive to remain authentically grounded through all of life's fluctuations. I must use this life to heal mentally and spiritually so that I can be a constructive being. I know that if I am in constant pursuit of this, I can also help others in a multifaceted and multidimensional way. It's also worth noting that if ancestor veneration is part of your practice, self-love is a crucial component in this case as well. We would not be here without our ancestors. We are an extension of them. So if we have genuine reverence and respect for ourselves, by default, we are doing the same for them. Steep the energy cleansing pouch in warm or hot water. Pour it into a reusable spray bottle and use it to cleanse your space. Now remember, we are removing unwanted and unedifying energies from our space. If I am inside, I start in the back of my house and work my way to the front. So as an alternative, you can use sound for cleansing. For example, clapping your hands or ring a bell or using your voice by chanting. Remember, sound echoes and reverberates throughout a space. It is my belief, personally, that if you are unable to make the rounds around the space, using sound will do the job. If I am outside, I tend to cleanse myself the way I did previously with a wash rag and a bowl. But keep in mind, the alternative for this is to hold the pouch in your lap or your hands. I know some folks that work outside prefer not to cleanse or just don't, and that's perfectly valid too. So after I cleanse, I ask for protection from my ancestors. But if that's not your thing, you may ask for protection from the energies that are here for your greater good. The energies that maybe are here to guide, love, help, heal, and protect you. Some instead cast a circle of protection. Remember, everyone has their own path, traditions, practice, and magic, so do what is in alignment for you. The main point is to keep out anything that is contradictory to what we are bringing to fruition with our workings. This is why cleansing and protection work is important to do even when you are not actively doing workings. So now we will light the incense or use it as a scent stick. As I mentioned previously, start by grounding and centering. Keep in mind you can use the methods we used earlier in the video if you so choose. After doing so, take your petition paper and write words of conviction. Or you can use mine. So, I am here and that is enough. I do not need outside validation for my own self-worth. I am at peace with myself and have reverence for my existence. I love every fiber of my being and no one will ever take that away from me. Now, petition paper may not be a part of your path nor your thing, so if you want to skip that part and just say your words of conviction in this next part, go for it. So now we're going to scoop some of the self-love balm and rub it up in our palms to warm it up into an oil. If your Coven crate has an oil, you can use that. Both are designed for the same purpose. Rub it on your candle from bottom to top. We are bringing in all of these words. So now we're going to place the petition paper under the candle and then light the candle. So as an alternative to rubbing the oil on the candle and lighting it, instead you can put a little of the balm or oil on your chest, over your heart, or your hands, or your forehead, third eye, you know. Now for this next part, this goes for anyone, whether you dress the candle or not, no matter if you wrote a petition or you didn't. This next part is for everyone. Speak or read your words of conviction. You can also use the recording of my voice if you would like. Say this out as many times as you need. Sing it, scream it, whisper it, whatever will get you into an authentic state of mind. Believe every word you say. Here is an example. I love every fiber of my being and no one will ever take that away from me. If you lit the candle, allow it to burn all the way down. If you need to snuff it out, you may, but I find it works best for me when I know I will be able to be home and supervise the candle. So now end this with grounding and centering. If you feel your energy has gone a little drained after all of this emoting, this is why grounding and centering is perfect for you. Because like I said, we are replenishing and restoring the energies that maybe we've deprived ourselves of. If your roads aren't open, something is stifling your path. So these obstacles could come in the form of a person, an energy, a situation, list goes on and on. Sometimes you know who it is or what the obstacle is, and sometimes you don't. Either way, it'll need to be removed so that your paths are open. That's the long and short of it, and since this video is already pretty lengthy, I'm just gonna go ahead and dive in. So, like before, start by cleansing your space and asking for protection or casting a circle. Light your incense or utilize the scent stick method. Then ground and center. And now take your petition paper, if it's something you use, and write down your own convictions, or use the following. To the powers that be, the ones here to guide, help, heal, and protect me, remove all blockages preventing me from exactly where I need to be. Okay, now scoop some of the balm, the road opener balm, and rub it in your palms to warm it up into an oil. If your Coven crate has an oil, use that, same purpose. Rub it on your candle from top to bottom. We are removing all of the obstacles in our path. Now place the petition paper under the candle, light the candle, and as I mentioned before, an alternative to rubbing the oil on the candle and lighting it. The alternative is to instead put a little of the balm or oil on your feet or your hands or in your shoes. Whether you dress the candle or not, wrote a petition or not, like I said before, anyone can do this next part. Again, we are going to speak words of conviction, either internally or by using the recording of my voice or reading it. Or you can just allow your petition to say all it needs to say. For example, all of my obstacles are removed. All my paths are leading me to where I am meant to be. If you lit the candle, allow it to burn all the way down. If you need to snuff it out, you may, but like I said before, I find it works best if you can let it burn all the way down. So try to make space for your workings. In this with grounding and centering, if you feel your energy has, become drained. If you feel you need to, you can take a cleansing bath after this. And if you want to, you can use the cleansing pouch if you didn't use all of it or only used half of it, or make your own cleansing bath. I will soon try to post a video on how to do a cleansing bath or shower. As for what to do with the petition paper, once the candle has burned all of the way down, that is entirely up to you. You can burn it out, you can burn it or bury it. Some folks keep it. It entirely depends on your craft and also your environmental ethics. I usually just burn mine, but it's 100% your choice. I hope that was helpful. I attempted to read off of a little teleprompter thing. I wrote out everything, and I hope that it it was concise and made sense. If you have any questions, comment below, and I will try to get back to them. I know I'm not great about it. I'm like all over the place doing a bunch of things at once, but I'll try to be better. So anyway, I will see y'all next time.